It's
Hey
insane.
guys, it's Center Right Federation here with my buds,
Hey,
Right.
Soldier 7 and Delta USA, and today we're just gonna be having a Google Hangouts party, and in a couple minutes, maybe Vladivostok 3701 will be joining in here in anytime soon. But right now he's uploading another video right now, so it might take some time. But
except
anyway, what do you guys want to talk about?
just almost anything.
I don't
Don't
know.
even care.
I don't really care. I've been trying to like work on some stuff, but I
I
don't.
think we could discuss Pinochet.
Panache!
Well, we can talk about military junta.
Or we could just talk about
Wait.
Utter idiocy.
Well, we can talk about Nicaragua. What's going on right now?
that's.
Hey guys,
Utter idiocy.
so the other day I was getting into an argument with some stupid communist, and he made a claim saying that the communists won in Russia, in China, and in Cuba. But can you guys name a couple places where the communists have gotten their asses kicked?
The
Spain.
Greeks,
Of course,
Greece,
Spain.
the Malayan
That's,
emergency, Afghanistan.
oh, yeah, that's
Well,
the
yeah,
best
you
one.
guys also got your asses kicked in the Greek Civil War.
Yeah, the Soviet Afghanistan. Yeah, the Greek Civil War. There was the
What
Malay.
about in Spain?
Yeah,
That's the obvious one, of course.
yeah, but to
I
me,
mean,
though, it was both. It was assholes fighting each other.
And then we also had Chile too, where the communists got their asses
oh,
kicked.
they got a helicopter ride.
Well, there was the Pinochet coup. Then there was, like I just mentioned, the Malaysian emergency. Then there was the 1954 insurgency in the Philippines. And then I guess you could say the Nicaraguan Civil War, even though it wasn't a military victory for the anti-communist forces, but politically it was. It was kind of like a Tet Offensive almost.
Yeah,
Like,
It
I mean, like,
was.
because the Contras caused so much like destruction on the Sandinistas, despite the fact they weren't militarily successful. They caused so much, damage and everything. It was just a political downfall, and then the war ended in 1990 with a political victory for the Contras.
yeah.
Fucking gummies.
Hey Delta, you know what I think of that?
What?
They almost. I can also name a war where they almost lost.
Which one?
Angola. They came really close to losing that.
Oh, losing that revolution?
You know
No,
what?
the
While we're at this,
Civil
we
War.
also dispel the myth that World War II was won because of Stalin.
Which is bullshit because Stalin didn't go to Africa. He didn't go to the Pacific.
Exactly. And plus, was it the Red Army almost getting their asses
Oh,
beat?
yeah. Here's what I have to say about that. The communists did everything.
Utter idiocy.
Yeah, dude, it's just a bunch of. It's literally just a bunch of.
Utter idiocy.
At times it makes me think that we're living inside an A.
Good.
Probably. But yeah, if you like look at Angola, they literally really came. Even though the communist forces technically did win that war, but they literally came close to losing.
Yeah, shit.
It took up until the assassination of Jonas Savimbi, they were going nowhere.
Yeah. And also back to the thing where we could dispel the myth that the war was won because of Stalin, World War II. So do you really think Stalin did all the work as these stupid commies say?
Oh, no.
He didn't even start fighting until his country was invaded, and up until then he and Hitler were allies. They were walking hand in hand. They split Poland in half.
Well, it was a non-aggression pact. Kind of
But either
shit.
way, they fucking split Poland in half.
But Delta, you have to keep in mind that most of the communists also deported Jews into Nazi Germany.
Oy vey, let's ignore that, because that's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, when I pointed this out to a bunch of communists, all they said was Zionist propaganda.
And
Evil,
plus,
evil Zionist conspiracy against communism.
some people like to say, well, the fate of the world was being decided at the Battle of Stalingrad. No, it wasn't. Hitler would have the only way, even if Hitler took Stalingrad, that was nothing. Like that wouldn't have solved anything. That wouldn't have
Well, the Gooks over there in the Pacific were getting their ass kicked got their ass kicked at Midway a little bit earlier.
Yeah. And plus, wasn't the Red Army like? Didn't the Nazis kill more Red Army soldiers than the Red Army soldiers killed the Nazis?
Germans. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the commies, they suffered more casualties than the Nazis.
If you look at most of the losses after the war, most of it was from most of the deaths were Soviets.
And we're not just talking about civilians.
This is soldiers.
Yeah,
Yep.
like the Red Army, the battalions would just be wiped out within seconds.
Watch everybody say
Anti-Semitism.
and claim that we're supporting the Nazis even though we're not.
We're not. We're just saying from a military standpoint, if we just put aside what really happened in the war, just both these armies go head to head alone, no backup, nothing. On a military standpoint, yeah, the Germans and the Nazis had a better army. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
The Soviets had a better fighting force than the Mujahideen, but they still didn't win.
Exactly.
They got their ass kicked really bad.
Um,
Oh, but that's just an American conspiracy theory, so let's just.
Oh, hey,
ignore
what's up,
that.
Tom?
Tommy boy.
Hey, Vlad.
How you doing, dude?
I don't know. I just uploaded a video. It's like 21 minutes long. It's gonna take, I don't know, maybe 6 minutes to upload, so you guys can watch it soon.
Yay!
Yeah,
Finally.
Tom,
What are you guys up to?
you know what I thought about our Friday Night Shitposting Part 2, why we should delete it?
Why?
It's because there was just way too much.
Anti-Semitism.
There was a lot of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, you know
but
what
I
I
mean,
think of that though, Ethan?
I'm still not willing to delete it because it just rustles too many.
Yeah.
It triggers all the right people. So I'm gonna leave it up for now.
Yeah, to me, Jimmy's or Russell's is too good.
If Benjamin Netanyahu sends me a message saying that he's gonna send he's gonna send Mossad after me, then maybe I'll consider taking it down. But for now, it stays up.
Yeah, exactly. Just as long as they don't try getting it shut down by the JIDF.
Yeah. They've tried to shut me down before, so I'm not going to do that.
They are.
Hey Tom, so remember in that part in the video in Friday Night Shitposting when you talked about how Democratic Socialists won, the Finnish Bolshevik and the Free Flow should have been thrown out of helicopters, and then do you remember how Soldier 7 said, you know we're still live, right? They could probably hear us right now, and they're gonna prepare themselves, and you're all like, what are they gonna do? Call the FPLC? Call the ADL? I know who the ADL is. It's the Anti-Defamation League, obviously. But what's the FPLC?
The SPLC? It's the Southern Poverty Law Center. They're this group in the United States that make lists of all these supposed hate groups. And they make a huge deal out of anybody who talks negatively about Jews or black people or any sort of minority group.
Yeah, but the thing, I've also seen that group also tackle the new Black Panther Party.
Yeah, I think they go after like black nationalist groups as well.
Yeah.
But they definitely have an anti-white bias. I've seen. Are you familiar with the YouTube user Rams Paul?
Yeah, I subscribe to him.
Yeah, he made a video a long time ago where it was like it was a satirical video where he was dressing up as like this gangster guy with a hood, and he had a fake gun, and he was pretending to be like all thuggish, and he's pretending to be like a street gangster. And the FPLC took a picture of him, a hood on, and a fake gun, and then they posted it in their like hate watch newsletter, saying like, "Oh, you got to be careful of this guy. He's dangerous." Because it was completely taken out of context. Like these people will just go around. They will scour the internet looking for things to be offended by, and then they will claim that they're hate speech, that they're evil and vile, and they need to be stopped. So don't take anything that the SPLC says with a grain of salt, because they have their own ideological agenda that they're trying to push.
Yeah, I'm surprised that shitposting hasn't landed on their list.
Oh, it will. Trust me. Give it a couple more months. I'm sure that I'm gonna get like flagged by the ADL or some organization for hate speech or something like that.
Oh god, they're
They
probably
should
gonna
do
go.
Angry Bastard's video where he says this
Anti-Semitism.
as a commercial for the Anti-Defamation League.
Oy vey. Oh, I can
Boy,
get in trouble.
shut it down.
Shut it down.
Hey, Tom.
We
Yeah?
must spill the blood of the white devil. The time has come to erode the border of Europe and exterminate the white race once and for all. Resistance is futile, white man. Resistance is futile, white man.
Was it like? Was it Luis? He sounds like the.
No,
Sounds like-
no. Luis sounds like Yoda, and Brandon
Yeah.
Nero of Rome sounds like He kind of sounds like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a heads up. I don't think I'm gonna be doing the Friday night shit posting on a Friday this month. It will more than likely be on a Thursday actually. It's either gonna be on the 24th or the 31st. Just because I realized that this upcoming weekend is actually Easter weekend, and I'm going to be out of town, so I can't really do it.
Yeah,
Oh, sh-
and plus, on Friday, I was also gonna say that, let's say if we did Friday night shit posting on Friday, I was gonna end up like being there I was gonna be there for like a short time because family's coming over and stuff.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, just because of like circumstances, it'll probably be Thursday night.
Oh,
Maybe on the
you
24th.
could also make an announcement soon because
yeah.
I was also planning on bringing other people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And
I'll find out
actually,
afterwards.
just a heads up, I'm probably going to bring a very special guest on.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
We're working on guests and shit, but it may not be possible. It may not work out on my end, but that's fine.
That's all right. Yeah, anybody's welcome to come on.
Yeah, even communists, but the thing is, they're all just too pussy to join.
Yeah.
Oy vey.
The only one with balls to join is Manuel. That's something I have to say. And Manuel's a bud of ours.
Yeah.
He just comes on and he's just like, okay. And we probably won't show his face much because I know social democrats going to go after him and be like, anti-Semitism.
Well, I mean, Manuel may be a communist or a socialist or whatever he wants to call himself, but he's not really. I really don't lump him into the category of like leftism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he doesn't like get offended if you disagree with him or anything like that.
Not just that though, because he's just like politically incorrect in general, and that's just really that's just not characteristic of contemporary leftist thought.
I wasn't like I was the same way on the left though too. I just didn't care. I'd offend people all day, and they're like, "Are you only socialist in name?" DDD.
Hey, dude! Right now we have 5 viewers watching this. Who do you guys think could be watching this right now? I know Slav Richard is watching this because he commented recently. But who else do you guys think?
Social democrat or
Yeah, maybe Louise. Oh yeah. Okay, I want to talk about that video that Angry Bastards made about me, because there's some things I have to point out about it. Okay. First of all, a lot of those videos, actually most of those videos that he screenshotted from my favorites list, those were I liked those years ago. Like some of those videos I've liked like 4 or 5 years ago, because you realize that this channel, the Vladivostok 3701 channel, is like 5 years old. I didn't start making videos until like 2 years ago. So in order to get those screenshots, for instance, all those like German military marches, those I liked those years and years ago. So in order to get those screenshots, he must have had to go through all of my favorited videos and just examine every single one and just be like, oh, this is not appropriate. This is racist. This is fascist. And I'm gonna flag this.
Delta, play the drop.
yes, I have that drop. I'm gonna open it. Guess what he does? He even stalks his own friends, which is completely creepy.
The thing is, Angry Bastard's not the one monitoring your channel. It was Democratic Social, the one who took those pictures. I'm 100%.
I don't approve of this. This is fascist. This is racist.
This is anti-Semitic. Shut it down.
Yeah, I know it wasn't Angry Bastards who took those screenshots, because Democratic Socialist 01, he he messaged me before saying that he took screenshots of my favorited videos and that he was I don't know, reporting me to whomever. So it's more than likely that he took those screenshots. It wasn't Angry Bastards that did it.
Yeah, it can't be Angry Bastards.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, he claims that we're obsessive, but yet he makes that, but yet he watched a 3.5 hour long video of ours on your channel, and yet took those screenshots of your favorited videos from like years ago.
He's probably going to do it again for the next shitposting stream.
He's gonna make an Obsessive Trolls Part 2.
Oh, by the way, Tom, so remember how Angry Bastards pointed out in that video that you like the video of a Chinese man like making anti-Semitic remarks? No, I'm not skeptical of you because I know you're not a fascist or a Nazi or anything.
Yeah,
But
I'm not a Nazi.
What did you find interesting about that video, though?
Well, that was a video that was very popular on Poll, like many years back, and I don't know. I thought it was funny, so I favorited it. But like, as I said, though, you have to bear in mind that a lot of those videos I liked and I favorited way before I started making videos. So I really didn't care if, you know, people like Democratic Socialists and other leftist puritanicals were, you know, monitoring my channel for inappropriate content. So like I was much more liberal about what I favorited it. But nowadays, like I pretty much only like and favorite videos that I want to promote. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if somebody wanted to, I'm sure they could go through my channel and just find all kinds of videos that I liked and favorited it, and just be like, oh, this is inappropriate. This is not, you know, characteristic of you, and they could probably paint some sort of vile picture of me based on those videos. But you know, it's just cherry picking, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't you like? I saw that you once liked the video by Secular Talk. Does that automatically mean that you're a social democrat?
Yeah, I mean, I like all kinds of videos. It doesn't matter what the ideology of the person is who's making them. If I find the content to be well done and worthy of promotion, then I will like it.
Hey Tom,
Sure.
you know how you said that he will report? He sent you a private message saying he will report you. What's he gonna report? I'm stalking this guy, and I found and I took pictures of his likes.
Yeah,
that's
ridiculous.
You know what I think of them though?
But
It's just fucking homos. I'm sorry.
Pathetic little children.
All right, so I wanted to talk about Pinochet once again.
sure.
So like we already talked about how he won by coalition. He didn't win through like
Allende?
the election.
Like Allende and shit.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you know how most leftists like to say that he didn't kill anyone and stuff like that. But see, here's the thing: he seized a ton of people's property and used force against them if they didn't give it away.
Well, that's what I was talking about in the last hangout that I did on Luis's channel. It's about the failure of social democracy in general, because it's very naive to think that you can just elect a government that will appropriate the assets of business owners and entrepreneurs and just think that all these people are going to go along with it. It's not true at all. If you try to seize the assets of capitalists by force, then they will try to resist you. Same thing with Bernie Sanders and all these other characters. If they actually implement the policies that they're advocating for, like, I don't know, like a 60% tax rate and $15 an hour minimum wage, you're going to see resistance towards it. You're going to see people saying, fuck no, I'm not going to do that, because I worked hard for my assets. I worked hard to gain my business and all my property. So I'm not just going to hand it over to a bunch of government thugs.
Or
that's what I'm saying, that you cannot implement socialism through the ballot box. You have to do it at the barrel of a gun.
Or it's their fathers or their fathers before them worked hard to get this and they gave it to you as a gift, and like you're just gonna take all that hard work that.
Exactly.
That's just vile, dude.
Yeah,
I don't
and plus,
Imagine that you are, you're saving every penny, so that your children can have financial security. You know, and you start a business that your children can inherit, so that they're not living on the street. And then all of a sudden, you know, some sort of socialist douchebag gets elected.
Yeah,
and
with four eyes.
Yeah. He makes a policy that you know, you have to submit 90% of all your assets to the state so that they can squander it on petty crap and give it to Dindu Nuffins.
Give me that.
Yeah, you're not gonna if you have something to lose, you're not gonna go along with that. It's ridiculous. That's why Pinochet was able to seize power. Even if he did commit some atrocities and he did kill some folks, it was absolutely necessary to stabilize the Chilean economy.
I think like the Daily Show, they did like a really good job on that whole Pinochet thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the whole thing, like, I heard these leftists once tell me that Pinochet nationalized a lot of things, and but the thing is though, they strawmanned me because their own links said that right after the fail, because like, you know how when Pinochet took overthrew the Allende regime, he came into power like that through the military coup, but of course since Allende had already seized all the power of like industry and stuff, so he had some control of it for like a short time. But the idiots strawmanned me because the article itself said that he privatized it right after the failures of nationalization.
Yeah.
And then like Social Democrat.
That he had like a 40% poverty rate when Allende had a 50% poverty rate.
Yeah. Well, hey, one example of the failure to implement democratic socialism is the Chilean truckers industry. Okay.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
If you're aware of I'm sure you guys know about the geography of Chile. It's a very long country.
Yeah, it's right next to like
it's like very
South America, of course.
Long and narrow.
Yeah. So the trucking industry in Chile is very essential to the economy because in order to get goods from one end of the country to the other, you need to use trucks or trains or something of that nature. So if the trucking industry gets shut down, then the whole country gets shut down. And what happened during the Salvador Allende regime was that a lot of the truckers went on strike because obviously Allende tried to nationalize the industry, so all these people were like, no, we're not going to comply with you, we're just going to go on strike. And a lot of leftists today, and I'm sure Social Democrat would be among them, they claim that the CIA was funding the truckers' strike. You know, this whole thing was orchestrated by, you know, evil U.S. imperialists, and that these people would never have gone on strike if it weren't for, you know, the evil capitalists in the U.S. government.
It's false.
Even though the U.S. did fund the Chilean truckers, it was because of the threat that their livelihood was going to be seized by the government that they went on strike.
Well, they had no way to make money.
It had nothing to do with the CIA or Richard Nixon or any of those characters. It was because of the perverse incentives granted by social democracy to nationalize the trucking industry. So that's just one example of the many failures of socialist Chile.
Well, the CIA was...
You know how a lot of them like to talk about how Pinochet had a 40% poverty rate? But here's the thing. There are many different ways you can measure poverty. For example, a lower-class person living in America, Canada, Australia is more likely to gain access to food than a middle-class person living in Venezuela. So in reality, who's more poor?
Yeah, it's true. Most people who are considered poor living in Canada or the United States, they can afford to own TVs or a vehicle or rent out an apartment, whereas somebody who's considered poor in, let's say, I don't know, Congo or Central African Republic, like they have nothing to their name. They've nothing but the rags on their back. So when you talk about poverty, it's relative to the country that you're talking about.
Yeah, there are different ways to measure poverty. I just think that these leftist comments are just a bunch of
idiocy.
Yeah, it is utter idiocy.
Yeah. Well, in the United States, you can be poor and obese at exactly the same time, whereas in other countries you can't. Because a poor person over here, even if they don't have a lot of money to buy a lot of stuff, they could always afford to go buy a bunch of Big Macs a week.
Yeah. And actually, poor people in the United States, especially, are actually more likely to be obese than poor people elsewhere.
Yeah, and if some people say, well, America's got obese problem, well, I don't really consider obesity, like if obesity is strong in this country, which is not as much as people like to say it is, because Mexico is actually more obese than America, but if obese is like one of your country's biggest problems, that's not really too much to worry about, because that just says that, hey, most of your citizens are getting food.
Yeah, I consider obesity to be a personal issue more than a societal issue.
Yeah,
Yes.
because leftists think they're.
So fucking special!
Because having a country that's mainly obese, I mean, like, that just shows like your people just have more access to food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know.
I'd much rather live in a society that has a higher obesity rate than a high starvation rate. That's for sure.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the majority of Americans aren't obese or an average, but the thing is you can be a person who makes $5 an hour. You know, you could go to work 40 hours a week, make $5 an hour, and still have enough money to stuff your face.
Yeah, and plus, kind of like what Tom said in the previous Friday night shit posting, it's like, notice how whenever like leftists like to apologize for the Salvador Allende regime, they never bring up anything good. All they do is brag about how he was democratically elected.
He was elected by the people. Bullshit.
Yeah, because the ties they have to Salvador Allende are purely ideological. They like to be perfectly honest with you, people like Social Democrat 01 and people who apologize for Salvador Allende, they don't give a fuck about the Chilean people. They don't care about the living standards of the people who had to live under Salvador Allende. All they care about is spreading their ideology and nationalizing industry and getting rid of capitalists. That's all they care about. They don't care about the welfare of the people.
They may try.
You know what they win?
They may try to say, well,
You want a helicopter ride? You're in the oven. That's what you win.
They win nothing right. Helicopter rides.
but they may try to say,
Helicopter rides for all communists.
well, they may say that, well, you people are exactly the same thing because you're trying to apologize for Pinochet. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I never tried to make an apology for him.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously Pinochet did some horrible things. Obviously, obviously the military under Pinochet, they killed a lot of people, and you know they probably, according to Social Democrat 01, they probably raped some people with rats and dogs, and that's horrific. Obviously, I don't want to advocate for that, but you have to understand that none of that would have ever occurred if Chile had not elected a completely insane socialist dictator who tried to nationalize all the industry and destroy the economy.
And on top of that, here's the thing. Leftists are not intellectually honest. See, the thing is, if they were intellectually honest, why don't they ever condemn like the rapes done by the Red Army on German women who are not affiliated with the Nazi Party? Why do they always deny crimes done by communism? But then they always like to say that all anti-communist crimes are true, but all communist crimes are just capitalist propaganda, fascist conspiracy.
Yeah, I've said that. Like, it's hypocrisy on their behalf. Like, they'll say how the Spanish nationalists were these big misogynists who hated women, yet they ignore the crimes of the Spanish Republic, and they just dance around the fact how evil fascists are. I'm like, people. It's basically it's the metaphor of the pot calling the kettle black. It's.
If anybody remembers, I did a video a while back about anti-communists who did bad.
I'll go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
That's fine.
If anyone remembers, if you go to Ethan's channel, I did a video on top 5 people who gave anti-communists a bad name. So, like, what I'm trying to say is like, unlike them, I'm not denying the fact that anti-communist forces did bad things. I'm just saying, like, when, like Pinochet, as we're talking about, I'm not making any excuses for him or anything when I say I would rather have lived under his regime than Allende, because economically, Pinochet was better economically. It doesn't mean I think he was a good person.
Yeah, that's the main difference. Well, it's one of the differences between right wingers and left wingers is that most of the left wing people that I've come across, especially on YouTube, they will just outright deny the crimes committed by Stalin and Mao and all these other people.
Well, here's the thing.
Allende. Whereas like right wingers like myself and I'm sure most of you would probably say that people like Pinochet, they did commit some atrocities, but it was necessary in order to stabilize the economy, in order to bring about social change for the best.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that those things were like good in and of themselves, but they were definitely necessary. Sometimes you have to break a few commie skulls to make an omelet. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know. But here's an interesting thing when you said like they would deny all the communist war crimes. Well, here's the thing. The most interesting one about that is Pol Pot, because some of them will try to deny the Cambodian genocide, but when they can't argue, they'll just say, "Yeah, well, Pol Pot received help from the West, so he's not a true communist." What? That doesn't mean he's not a true communist. I mean, Stalin received support from the West during the Second World War. Does that mean he's not a true communist?
Yeah, it's a stupid idea that they all have that if you're backed by the United States, you're automatically a capitalist.
Well, yeah, I'm sure if you were to go back to the 1970s and ask Pol Pot directly, "Are you a communist?" I'm sure he would say, "Yes, I am a communist."
And
He
plus,
thought he was implementing communism. That's the point.
Plus, he killed a lot of people he considered to be capitalists.
Yeah.
Because during the Cambodian genocide, they got rid of the upper class, the educated, like pretty much anybody that every
Who spoke French too. Anyone who spoke French kind of got the.
Yeah,
anybody who had glasses was on his list.
Anybody that even communists claim to be capitalists, like Pol Pot killed them.
Yeah, well, that's justified because they're evil bourgeois who have no rights because they oppress people and.
Yeah. If you're rich or a business owner, you're worse than a rapist.
And you should be killed. Yeah, when a nationalist.
Back to that thing about you know how if you're backed by the United States, you're automatically a capitalist. So Chiang Kai-shek was backed by the United States, and we had people calling him a capitalist. But the thing is, if you guys watch my video, I'm not sure if you guys watched it. It was called Chiang Kai-shek Was Not a Capitalist.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago.
Yeah. I talked about how he destroyed most of the capitalists, all the rich people who lived in that part of China, Shanghai or some shit like that.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of fascists support the Republic of China over the current government in the PRC now.
Chiang Kai-shek actually saw the Soviet Union as a model.
Yeah, he got most of his economic ideas from the Soviet Union, and he got most of it, and not just for economics, but also for his military, because he saw the Red Army as a good model.
Then he got his nationalist influence from I don't know where, Japan or somewhere, I don't know. But yeah, it's funny because the Kuomintang was, although today it's
right?
The Kuomintang, whatever, the KMT. I mean, nowadays it's known as a conservative party in Taiwan, but back then it ruled mainland China, and it wasn't really conservative because it was mostly made up of all kinds of people, but most of those people had to be socialists. Chiang Kai-shek and Sun Yat-sen were one of them.
Yeah, they nationalized most of its economy, but the hypocrisy is when they say, "Oh, if there's private property, it's capitalism." But yet, never mind the fact that Chiang Kai-shek nationalized most of its economy, most of China's economy.
Yeah, that's funny. If there's one bit of private property, it's capitalist. There's classes, it's capitalist. Does that mean I'm a capitalist then? Lenin said fascism's capitalism in decay, therefore it's capitalism because Lenin said so.
Well, then fuck the Soviet Union and Maoist China was capitalism, because you don't think that there wasn't upper classes in that? Yeah, if you were a high-ranking member of the party, you lived privilege. Like these so-called communists like to say, well, capitalism where it supports the rich and the rich get to have all these yachts and everything. You got to have all that stuff too in Soviet Union and China. All you had to do is be a high-ranking member of the party.
Oh, yeah. That's revisionism. That's not real communism.
What do you think about this distinction that many communists make between private property and personal property?
I think
They'll say that, like a toothbrush or, a pair of pants, that's personal property because that belongs to you. But let's say, a steam engine or a textile mill, that's private property because, that creates wealth and therefore it should be owned by the workers. What do you guys think of that?
This kind of, I kind of get where they're coming from, but their whole no property, private property's evil. They just imply like classes and own land. It's like I don't find anything morally irreprehensible for wanting to own land or own a business or anything.
Well, if I go to the bank and I borrow money to buy a certain place and set up a store or something there in a factory, and I start making all this money and I pay the bank back and I start hiring people, and they're like, and these communists are like saying it's their business too, and I'm like, no, because they didn't go to the bank, they didn't ask for the money, they didn't pay off the bank loans, they didn't write the books, they didn't write the checks, they didn't come up with any of the ideas. They just sat at the registers or made the products or whatever. Like the owner, regardless of whether if you believe this or not, the owner is the main person who is responsible for keeping the business alive.
Exactly. They're the ones who are taking the risk.
Yes, the workers do play a role in keeping the business alive, of course. Everybody does play a role, but the biggest responsibility, the one who's mainly responsible is the owner.
Soldier, I have a question for you.
What?
Did you get your sources from Fox News?
No, not at all.
Good.
Oh, Tom,
Do you watch Fox News?
No, I don't.
Do any of you watch Fox News?
I've seen I may have checked it out every now and then, but you know what? I check out every broadcast. I've checked out CNN from time to time before. So what? It doesn't mean I pay attention to every fucking thing they say. Although I admit Fox does have some people I find likable, but I don't watch them on a daily basis. No.
Exactly. Plus, Fox never talks about the shit that we usually talk about. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're barely even considered right-wing. They're pretty much just centrists.
Yeah, although I wish Greg Gufford would talk about some of the stuff we talk about, and John Stossel.
Oh, fuck Stossel, honestly, dude.
Actually, I like John Stossel. He's pretty cool.
I don't agree with everything that he says, because like you said, he's a so-called libertarian. I call myself a conservative, but he does make. But I like some of the arguments he makes and some of the topics he brings up. But other than that, I don't really agree with his politics. But I do like his show, though, just because of the topics he sometimes talks about.
Utter idiocy.
Like I said, I don't watch Fox News on a daily basis. The last time I watched Stossel's show, or it was like a month ago or something. I don't know. Same time I watched CNN. That was like a month ago too. Even if I have watched any of it recently, I didn't pay attention too much.
Oh,
Stossel.
So just I think all these leftists just need to just drop that argument. We just watch Fox News all day, therefore that's where we get all information.
Hey Tom, what do you think of the argument that open border immigration brings more profits into the market?
Well, the thing about that is that a lot of people with lower living standards who live in Mexico or Central America, they're willing to work for lower wages than Americans are, and they're willing to accept fewer benefits than Americans are. So I think that if you abolish a lot of the barriers to entry for people getting work in the U.S., for instance, payroll taxes, minimum wage, workers' comp, Social Security, and all things like that, I think that they would pretty much put American workers on the same level as Mexican workers, so that Mexicans and other Central Americans and other people coming over to seek a higher living standard, they would have really no motivation to do so.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
realize that it's government regulation that's causing all these people to come over and seek a higher living standard. It's not capitalism that's doing that.
Well, what the funny thing is that a lot of leftists, they say we should just let these people come over the border, and at the same time they advocate higher wages because they say, well, we shouldn't have to work for this low amount of pay. You do realize by just allowing everybody to come across the border, you're literally just like giving all that up because like the owners are just going to look to the people coming to the border and just hire them instead because they're willing to work cheap.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, sorry guys. Hi, Adrian. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just listening to the conversation.
Just listen to us.
Sorry, we were trying to pay attention to what he was saying. Like, yeah,
I see you're drinking tea, Adrian. What kind of tea is that?
It's lemon and green tea, my favorite.
Good old America.
Nice.
It's not too bad. I've had it before.
Some good old Dr. Pepper.
But
We don't have that here.
Williams likes to say.
Fuck, the first time I tried Dr. Pepper when I went to America, I thought you guys were insane. It tastes like motor oil.
How? It tastes good.
Come on, it tastes good.
Oh,
I like it. Pepper.
You guys are-
Adrian.
We must spill the blood of the white devil.
Please don't.
I don't drink.
Okay, to be fair, Australians eat Vegemite, and us Americans look at you like, what are you freaking eating?
Oh yeah.
Have you tried
Adrian,
Vegemite?
how does Vegemite taste like?
It's like nothing you've ever tasted before.
Yeah, I've
should
had
send you
Vegemite before. It's very salty and just not.
Oh, yeah, I'm not eating that.
Adrian, do you like Mountain Dew?
No, yeah, I love Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Oh,
I should try to bring Christopher Cantwell in here.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not a big soda guy, but I like to like drink sometimes like 7-Up and Canada Dry. Canada Dry. You know?
Yeah, Canada Dry represent.
Yeah, I
Hey,
can't.
do you drink syrup?
No, I don't drink syrup. I just put it on pancakes and
You ever
waffles.
seen,
No, you drink it.
you ever seen the movie Super Troopers?
No.
You know how lucky you have to have cheap syrup? We import our syrup from Canada, and it's ridiculously expensive to buy syrup.
fucking Canadians. Expensive syrup.
Well, I mean, like, what's to stop you guys from just like growing a maple tree in your backyard and just?
Well, I don't think it grows. I
We
don't
have
think it
stuff in
grows here.
Vermont, like up in the States. You just, like,
It's pretty easy to just tap syrup from a tree.
I don't think the tree actually grows here, though, maple trees.
I think we make our own maple syrup here in the States. I don't
yeah,
know.
like in Vermont and like some northern parts of the country near Canada.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, with
Montana.
an Australian climate.
Hey, Adrian, what do you think about Trump?
It's great. He will make America great again.
Ah,
I hope he's a great emperor that we need, so we could slaughter the left like Pinochet.
Oh, look at these racists! They support Pinochet!
I
Well,
don't
he
know.
becomes Emperor Trump and then starts his reign into Europe and kick out all the immigrants there as well and create a superior white race.
You clown.
I disagree with Trump on a lot of things. I'll be honest, but I'd rather have him as a president than let's say Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders.
That's all it comes down to. Who would you prefer?
Wait a minute. Wait. Soldier, did you
Yeah.
mean...
I'm not a big fan of Trump. Everybody knows that about me, but I would much rather have him as a president than him or Hillary Clinton. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, like, I have my gripes with Trump as well, especially about his economic policies and his views about Social Security. But he's by far the best option that America has at this point.
Yeah, because like John Kasich, like he's the governor of the state I live in, and I don't know why he's running.
Huh.
He's just trying to he's trying to be the counterbalance to Trump.
Yeah, like he tries to say like, well, look at here in Ohio, I brought back jobs and all that stuff, and I'm like, yes, but they're not the kind of jobs we're asking for.
Yeah, they're probably jobs for immigrants.
Well, I mean, like, there are jobs that, I mean, granted, like, to a point, he has brought back jobs, but not in every single part of the fucking state, because, like, the northern part of the state is doing pretty fucking bad.
Really?
Whereas the southern part of the state where I live, you know, it's doing bad in some parts, but in some parts, yes, it's doing okay because jobs are being created and everything, but it's not enough. And plus, they're being made too freaking slow. They're not
Yeah.
freaking jobs that you could support a family with. And yes, we have unemployed people who have families. And no, I'm not advocating we raise the wage. No, I'm just saying we need to try to bring back jobs to the state where I live, where that's affordable for a person to use for their family.
Yeah, I think if we don't get Trump, we're stuck with Clinton, or it's.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton is corrupt as fuck, and Bernie Sanders is a socialist. So give me a reason why I would want to vote for either
He's a
of them.
social democrat.
Okay, but even if Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders win, which, I mean, I personally don't want that to be the case at all. But
No.
let's say that they do win. All that will do is it will strengthen the right wing in the United States.
Either that, well, I don't know, dude. Maybe not with the millennials, that's for sure.
Yeah, those be more cuckold
No,
than
no,
faggotry.
even them though. Like once they figure out that they're not going to find sustainable jobs, once they find out that their degree in Marxist Leninist black studies is not going to get them the job that they hope for, they're going to start pushing back against the system.
Well,
It's gonna push the Overton window to the right.
kind of like
exactly. Like with all the millennials, it feels like we're living inside an A.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can consider myself a millennial.
What year were you born?
Dude, all these freaking millennials.
Those are just fucking homos. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, like, due to the year I was born, yes, I am a millennial, but the way I was educated, the way I learned and everything, I don't feel like a millennial.
I really don't either.
I sometimes feel like a baby boomer. Or a Generation X person, I don't know.
I feel older than I
I think
really am.
I think it has more to do with the technology that you grew up with, rather than anything.
Yeah,
I didn't grow up with a lot of tech.
I didn't grow up with all this. And I grew up with good technology, but I didn't have like the advanced technology.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of the shit we do now.
Yeah, I mean, like even when the advanced technology all came out, I still didn't have all of it. Like I didn't get a cell phone until I was about 22. Like everybody, by the time, by my age, by the time everybody was like 12, 13, and 14, everybody had a cell phone except for me.
Yes, so back to the whole immigration thing. I like what Tom commented on Nero of Rome's video, when you said there's nothing racist about upholding like values of liberty and freedom, but yet trying to keep out people who are against those values.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is that most of the immigrants from Central America and from elsewhere who are coming into the United States and Canada, they are not Republicans. They are not conservatives. They're not right wing at all. So these are the kind of people who are going to vote for Hillary Clinton, who are going to vote for Justin Trudeau and all these other clowns. Those are the main voter base of left wing political groups. So
That's
they
why-
know that they're going to vote for them. So they import them en masse into these Western countries.
Yeah,
And
like
because they know that they're going to vote for them.
Yeah, we need immigrants. We need immigrants more like I guess Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Because I remember like I remember seeing a video. I mean like. I'm not talking about the fact that he was governor. Yeah, when he was governor, he did some things that weren't really good. Like I remember he saw this video where he was talking about immigration. He was talking about like when he came to this country, he didn't have any money in his pocket, but he had the freedom to get it, and he worked hard for it.
Yeah, the
Look at him.
is bad.
He came to this country with nothing. Pocket from a small town in Austria, and look at him now. He's like one of the biggest fucking movie stars to ever walk the planet.
What do you
Yeah,
guys think of Rhodesia?
It was
Doesn't,
better
uh,
than Zimbabwe.
Doesn't Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, he used to have the highest public position of somebody who wasn't a native-born citizen of the
Well,
U.S.
he was governor of California at one point.
Yeah.
From what I heard, he wasn't very successful because, like, he does consider himself a Republican, but like, he's like kind of like one of like those like rhino type Republicans. But being that said, you know, like when it comes to immigration, you know, I think he's totally right, and we need more. I just wish more immigrants come to this country. Sometime.
Well, wait, soldier. That's the lava.
A pack of trolls.
Yeah,
Hey Tom, what do you think of Rhodesia?
Rhodesia? Well, I mean, if I had a choice to live in either Rhodesia or Zimbabwe, 10 times out of 10, I would pick Rhodesia. Just because it had a higher standard of
You know,
living.
they like to bring up that Rhodesia had segregation, but here's the thing: even
No,
on
it didn't have segregation, though.
hasn't ended.
It didn't have segregation. It wasn't like apartheid in South Africa where blacks were excluded from the public process. Blacks were encouraged to become doctors and lawyers and government officials.
well, it's just that Rhodesia. I think I could be wrong. I'm sorry, Tom. I'll wait. Go ahead.
Well, it's the reason. Like, I read this this account of somebody who lived in Rhodesia for a long time, and they basically talk about how if you were a white guy living in Rhodesia and you had some skills that would earn you a living, you basically had it made. However, if you were a black guy, even if you had a high government position like a doctor or a lawyer, you had on average a lower standard of living than white people in the same position. It was not because of discrimination or racism or anything like that. The reason why you had a lower standard of living as a black man was because of the cultural expectations of you. If a black man earned a living in Rhodesia, you were expected to divide that earning up amongst your family. You had to pay for your siblings, your cousins, your parents, your grandparents. If you owned a house, that house did not belong to you. It belonged to your family. And your whole family lived with you. So on average, because you're dividing up your income, you had a lower standard of living than white people who just kept their property as their own.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know too much about Rhodesia. I do know much about Zimbabwe. I don't know too much about Rhodesia. Although I do think that, you know, like instead of apartheid, I think what they wanted was basically a white minority rule, a white minority population. Right?
Yeah, but according to the left, that is.
Utter idiocy.
Well, I mean, like I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying like well, I mean, like I might have to side with them. I mean, like I'm not saying like it's like what Tom said. Like Rhodesia probably may have not had apartheid or anything, but like I think they still wanted like a white controlled nation, like a white, you know, where everything is mainly just white run, white led, and everything. But yeah, where blacks probably still had the right to do certain things, unlike in apartheid South Africa. But like.
Okay, but even if that was the case, even like I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, Rhodesia and apartheid South Africa were white run, and they were run according to white European values. But then again, what's wrong with that?
I have no idea.
Nothing. Well, I mean, besides the apartheid thing, you know that.
Okay, but have you read accounts of people who lived in South Africa before and after apartheid?
Well,
most of those people would say that yeah, it was better under apartheid because you didn't have people vandalizing businesses. You didn't have.
Oh, you didn't have to do
crime. You didn't have the crime.
Most blacks in Zimbabwe say that they want to go back under Rhodesia than in Zimbabwe.
Yeah. I think even Robert Mugabe thinks that it was better under Rhodesia because at least, you know, they could grow things. At least there was an agricultural sector.
Hello. I actually almost done with my Black Lives Matter video. Like tomorrow might be.
Yeah, I actually just made a video about Black Lives Matter. You guys should check it out.
Oh, Tom, it's not Black Lives Matter, it's Dindu Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Shit, man, shit. He didn't do nothing, man. Shit.
I do it better than you, Ethan. Shit, nigga. Fucking Trayvon Martin didn't do nothing. He was a good boy.
Hey, that's to imperialism. Don't worry, you're not annoying me with a
We
spam.
also interview
Wait, what?
also Preston 20 interview me on the reverse racism. You know Preston, Tyler Preston 20?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that video that you're talking about. That's pretty good.
LMAO Richard.
Well, have you talked about the Angry Bastards video?
Yeah, we already
Yeah,
discussed
we
that.
talked about that already.
We did that.
Yeah, because it was just stupid. Because alright. First, we already know who took the screenshots. We already know it wasn't Angry Bastards. And secondly, I just want to point something out really quick. And I'm gonna give credit to Nero of Rome. No worries. This is the thing. Angry Bastards says that the videos that they took of you, like the pictures that they took, they were all cherry picked. But at the end of the video, he says that they were not cherry picked. That's a contradiction.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he could, if he wanted to, he could probably find a bunch of leftist videos that I favorited and just like portray me as some sort of communist. But he's not going to do that because it doesn't conform to his ideological agenda to do that.
Oh, Tom, were you laughing at the part where me and Delta were looking at your subs? We saw your leftist subs, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, Tom, we exposed you! We exposed you!"
Yeah, come in. Like I'm subscribed to Angry Bastards. I'm subscribed to Social Democrat 01. I'm subscribed to a bunch of other leftists. Like those people don't complain about that.
Yeah.
Newsflash, imbecile.
You're a racist.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
cherry picking is what it is.
You should do a video of Cook, Cook, you usually do videos on Cooks. Like, you should do that on D-Ray.
Did you hear about a video that Lacey Green released recently? I heard it was terrible.
We must destroy
Wait,
the white.
Wait, Luis, who are you talking about? D-Ray?
D-Ray, you know that guy who used to lead up the Black Lives Matter group, D-Ray?
He's autistic.
Who that Sean whatever his name is?
No, let me find his name.
Shit, wrong,
Let me find his name.
why? That is me.
D-Ray.
Gotta turn on the volumes. So you went a helicopter ride, even. Where'd you come from, Nero? Holy fug.
Hey, Ethan sent me the link.
Oh.
Glad you're talking about autistic lives matter.
Nigger lives matter. Who cares about them? Bunch of tools.
I mean, the leader of Black Lives Matter, like, who gives a shit what their name is? He's so severely autistic.
Yeah, D-Ray Mackison. A video on D-Ray Mackison. He made an interview with.
Yeah. Luis, send me a video of the thing that you want me to critique, and I'll consider it.
Luis, this is.
Utter idiocy.
Alright, he should be cut like. Oh my god, it was an interview I'm not sure, there's another interview he made, and it was just awful. Like, the interviewer was from Fox News, I have to admit, and the guy says, "Do you protest for a living?" And then he was all talking like, Are you saying that because I'm black? It's a freaking stereotype?" And oh my god.
Oh my god, dude, I fucking hate the race card.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? What's funny is that a lot of the major figures in the Black Lives Matter movement, like Sean King and Rachel Dolezal, they're not even black.
They're white. It's
They
transracial.
just pretend to be black in order to feign victimization status.
What the hell is a transracial? That's what gets me confused. What the fuck is transracial?
Newsflash, imbecile.
I have absolutely no idea what this
Utter idiocy.
is.
That seems legit, you clown.
Yes, yeah, that seems legit, you clown.
I don't have my
Sounds
box.
legit, you clown.
Yeah, see the people
You know,
at Zimbabwe.
I was
are not
looking
living
at my
inside
channel. Sorry. I was looking at my channel, and I looked at my most recent Angry Bastards video. 2 thumbs down already. Gee, I wonder who that is.
This live stream already has 3 downvotes.
What?
Gee, I wonder who that is.
I got a bunch
Hey.
of thumbs on the videos I put on your channel.
Dude, I got a thumb down on one of my most recent videos, and one of them came from Australia.
Gee, I wonder
Sounds
who that
legit,
is.
you clown.
I got dislikes on my Brigade 2506 video.
Hey guys, at times seeing all of this makes me think that we're living inside an age.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question for all of you. Where would you put me on the political spectrum? Because a certain someone who disliked this video says that I am far right.
I don't know all your.
Far right! Far right!
Liberal degenerate. There you go. That my answer is left-wing liberal. There.
Center
Yeah,
left.
you seem like a liberal.
I would say center.
Your average
We're
American
classical
liberal.
liberal.
I don't know all your views. So
Your average American liberal.
I can't really say because I don't know all your views.
But yeah,
Yes, Tom,
a
here's
certain
the-
someone who you get a lot of your drop from says to this day.
Alright, Tom, here's the video.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
I'm on my phone, so hey Delta, Brent, Ethan, can you put in the chat?
Hold up.
Nero, if you're so concerned about where you're placed on the political
I placed it
spectrum,
in
you
the
should
chat.
do a video of you taking the political compass test.
Yeah, I probably will do that. Although the last time I checked, I was put on the central left.
Live.
So, like,
Although-
in the
Yeah, wait,
green
That
square?
certain person you were speaking of, he has this insane idea that if you're not on the far left, you're not left-wing at all.
Yeah, you know what I think of that?
Utter idiocy.
I mean,
Tom-
Yeah,
remember,
that's the same guy
Hey
who's
Tom,
accusing people
hey,
of far
Tom,
right.
Tom, it's already in the chat. Can you see the video?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
must
I
really
have a
stop making a
feeling-
million hangouts.
What?
It's that
I have
Stephen
a
Colbert
feeling.
video.
Why do I have the gut feeling that the person that we are referring to is already downloading this video so he can share it with his friends and prove how much we're obsessive trolls?
Yeah, he's
I-
probably gonna take
think
a bunch of
that's-
quotes and context from it and just play it in his
Yeah.
videos and just be like, these right-wing trolls are harassing me again.
Although, to be
He
fair,
sort of started crying and then he's gonna get your mind. And then he's gonna massage himself with it. Just
tell everybody what Democratic Social One told you in your video. Remember, didn't he say something to you that got you pissed off?
who
He called me
cares?
a gutter crawling.
What's the point of blocking people, in all honesty? Because no matter what, they can still comment on your videos and troll the comments section, regardless if you block them or not.
What did Adrian say?
What?
What did Adrian say?
He called me a gutter crawling grub and other bad things.
Hey, social democrat. That's what you are.
Okay, I've never blocked anybody on my channel, so I'm not really sure how the blocking system works now. So if you block somebody and they comment on one of your videos, can they still see it?
No,
Yeah.
No, they can't. They can't see it, but everyone who hasn't blocked you can see it and respond. So I can literally go on Angry Bastard's video if he blocked me, which he hasn't, but if he blocked me, I can still put in the comments section, "You are a faggot," so his fans can to me responding, "Are a faggot," until I get bored.
I don't think that works. I don't think other people can see it.
Yeah.
If you post on there,
See it.
Yeah, I think Adrian's right, because I've since posted on many of Social Democrat 01's videos, even though I know he's blocked me, and nobody has commented, nobody's thumbs it up.
I know why, because he
Nobody
banned you from his channel. When you ban someone on your channel, if you ban someone from your channel, they won't allow you to make comments. That's what Red Scare TV did. He banned me from his channel. I cannot make comments.
Funny, because I can still comment on Social Democrat 1's videos and still get responses.
Yeah, that's really funny.
You see it? But,
Alright, dude, but I don't want to make this all about Democratic Social 1.
Yeah.
We gotta stop this.
But like,
Wait, Tom, have you seen the video that
Shango went on to my video where we took that drop where he says, "I'm an idiot," and he was like saying, "Oh, stop being immature, Brandon. Stop being such a troll." Even though that's for entertainment factor, like, yes, I'm a dick. I'm a proud one too, because it's for entertainment reasons. It's for comedic effect. Get over it.
Wait, Tom, do you have the video? Like, are you watching it?
He says yes, but he'll watch it later.
You and the helicopter ride, you're in the end of it. That's a win.
By the way, Tom, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you like ice cream?
So, sorry, repeat that?
Okay, it's an economic question. Like, do you like ice cream?
Yeah, I like ice cream.
Okay, let me ask you this. Let's say like there's a private ice cream store and there's like a government ice cream store. Think about like the public, the nationalized ice cream stores that you get your ice cream for free, right? But here's the thing. You go into the private ice cream store, you have to pay $1.50 for, I don't know, what's your favorite ice cream?
Jesus Christ. Wait, can I answer that very quickly?
Yeah, but first I want to have, but still I want
Okay, well, like,
finish the question though, okay? Let's say you have to go in and buy your favorite ice cream. I don't know what it is. Let's say a cone for $1.50 in the private one. But you go to the government nationalized one and it's free. But here's the thing. You have to wait like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 1 hour to get your ice cream. What would you rather do? Go to the government one that's free, or go to like a ice cream store where it won't cost you, but it'll probably get dressed in about 5 minutes?
okay, well, first of all, if you have a public sector ice cream store, then I'm willing to bet that the quality of the ice cream and the quality of the service is going to be substandard compared to the private industry, just because there's no competition. So there's no incentive for the public ice cream vendors to amp up their service and amp up the quality of their ice cream. So
Not to mention,
right off the bat, I'm going to bet that the public ice cream is going to be a bad quality compared to private ice cream.
Because
And it will fail as well.
I'm mortal. I'm not gonna live forever, so I don't want to spend like 20 minutes waiting in line for a cone of ice cream. So I would rather pay the $1.50.
And you want to know why I'm asking?
hold on. Like, not to mention, like, even though I do agree to some degree that there should be some public services, but the taxes to fund them shouldn't go above 33%, so I'll get into that in a second. But the thing is, there's no such thing as free stuff, because regardless if the ice cream is publicly provided for or privately provided for, someone is still paying for that. With the former, it is the public paying for that. With the latter, it is individually paying for that. But it's not free stuff. It's still being paid for. If it was truly free, it'd be like some community utopia where ice cream's delivered for free and we all live in this genderqueer autistic paradise.
Well, like, the reason why I was asking Tom is because I was talking to, like, I don't know if he was, like, a socialist or a Justin Trudeau supporter or something. He was talking about, like the ice cream thing that I was asking Tom. He brought it up to me. I was debating him one night about a few weeks ago. He talked about, like, yeah, well, even if, let's say, I had to wait, I can deal with it because it's free. And I'm just like, really, dude? You're going to wait 5 hours? You're going to wait an hour?
It's free stuff.
Get a cone of ice cream? If I paid $1.50, which doesn't sound too much, I can get it within 30 seconds or something.
Yeah, like, to poor people don't have money; they have a lot of time, so they preference time.
It's like with Tom. Yeah, it's like with Tom's answer was perfect. Like, I'm not immortal. Time is not on my side.
Yeah,
But it is to the lower class.
Another thing is that using healthcare as an example.
Yeah, well, I didn't use the ice cream thing. He did. He brought it up.
It sounds like
Okay,
a
but
thing.
I live in Canada, so my personal experience of public industry is with healthcare, obviously, because healthcare is socialized up here in Canada.
I wouldn't assume they had socialized ice cream store.
I don't believe
Yeah,
that's
but,
necessarily negative, but it has faults.
I can tell you right off the bat, even if I didn't have to wait at all for the healthcare, I can tell you that the healthcare service provided up here in Canada is much lower. It's much of much lesser quality than the healthcare provided in the United States, just because Americans are paying for it, whereas we get it for free. So the doctors are more motivated to just like pass you along they're just willing to like look at you for a second and then just be like, all right, get into my office. I have to see more patients now.
Is it true that? Wait. Is it true that the former like prime minister of Canada, I forgot his name.
Stephen Harper.
One before Stephen Harper. Went to Canada, went to Florida, to Miami, and have a surgery because it was more cheaper to have surgery in Canada. Like it would be more to wait, more efficient.
Yeah, have you? I'm sure you guys know about the YouTuber Stefan Molyneux.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, that
Jesus hates his guts.
Yeah, Stefan Molyneux had cancer a couple of years ago, and he talked about how he went to a bunch of
shaved.
Yeah, he went to a bunch of oncologists here in Canada, and all those oncologists said like, oh yeah, you're fine, you don't have cancer, go about your day, whatever. And then he went to the United States, and the doctors there were like, yeah, you have like serious like stage 3 lymphoma, you have to have surgery now. And he got surgery within a week, and he was cured. Whereas if he had been subject to the Canadian healthcare industry, he would have been dead by now. So that just goes to show you that American healthcare industry is superior to Canada.
Can I say one thing though, real quick?
Hold on.
Brandon.
Tom,
Oh, fucking.
I just want to say something about what he just said about how healthcare in Canada is always a bad thing. Now, I have family in Canada, and they actually come down here for healthcare. However, I also have family who lives elsewhere in Canada, and I have tons of friends in Canada. And in my viewpoint, how bad or terrible public healthcare is in Canada is highly dependent on where you live in Canada. Like, there was this one community John Stossel looked over where they have to literally ration healthcare, but where one of my friends lives, healthcare is given to people on the spot. And, I mean, like, I guess it depends on where you live, and I guess you're in an unlucky area, Flavistock.
Well, I mean, it's not just me. I don't live in the same area that Stefan Molyneux does, and I have a pretty similar experience with the healthcare industry that he does. And I know that many people have the same experience that I do. So it's not... Obviously, a superior healthcare experience is not universal throughout Canada.
And Delta, what were you going to say before Brandon started speaking? Delta?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say the major problem with healthcare in America is that a lot of times people can't finish college because they have to pay like all the like medical bills and things like that. We do have a lot of cons with our healthcare. It might be good in a lot of areas, but it does have its downsides. Sometimes people can't even finish school because the bills are that bad. So there are downsides to private healthcare too.
If you pay for insurance though, then wouldn't you be okay?
I don't know. I wouldn't recommend State Farm though.
And maybe
Actually,
without insurance, I didn't look into it, but I do know that is a problem that that we do have in the States.
Soldrift, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I know that John Kasich recently, on the second Super Tuesday, he won the state of Ohio in the primaries. And
Yeah.
I know that Trump and even Cruz have won most of the states up to this point. So
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, could you tell me maybe about how widespread the support for John Kasich is, and why people like him so much in Ohio? Because I really fail to see why he's so popular in that
I
state.
don't really know why, because I didn't go vote for him, because on Tuesday we had to go vote for the caucus, the Ohio caucus, and everything. I didn't vote for him, so I can't necessarily tell you. But like, I guess the thing about Ohioans in general, really, is that Ohioans are just kind of like, like whatever. I just vote for this person. I don't give a shit. This blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And plus, like, he claims like 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 he'll bring us all together, and Ohioans are kind of like, it doesn't matter when we lean left or when we lean right. Like, too many Ohioans are too damn independent, and I don't mean that in a positive manner. Like, yes, it's good to think independently and be independent from sometimes, but like there's just the negativity of being independent too, because they just think like, whatever, I'm just thinking this way, I don't care. Oh yeah, Kasich's better because this and that, he's our governor, so we'll just vote for him.
So if it came down to, let's say, Trump and Kasich, who would you pick to be the nominee?
Well, I went and voted for the caucus on Tuesday, and I picked Trump.
So like, if you could choose right now who the nominee would be, you would pick Trump?
Yes, I would pick Trump, despite the fact that, yes, I admit in voting for Kasich for governor twice, but that's only because like the other guy was worse.
Yeah.
But
Tom.
like, what he promises to do, he does it very little, and it's like, yeah, yes, there's jobs being made in this state, but they're not the kind of jobs Ohioans are looking for or asking for.
So why do you think that he won Ohio? Who voted for him?
Probably all the freaking people up north, because Ohio's more popular like up north, like because it's Cleveland, Toledo, Sandusky, Youngstown. Where I live, it's just mainly Dayton and Cincinnati. Those are the only like really big places down here.
So people in like Dayton and Cincinnati, they're more pro-Trump, you'd say?
I wouldn't say pro-Trump. Well, I wouldn't say like pro-Trump in general. It's just like, like Southern Ohio is more conservative, I think, and like John Kasich always has like this appeal. Like he tries to appeal to the Democrat Party and everything, whereas Trump is just like, I'm just gonna appeal to whoever. I don't give a shit. So like yeah, I would say like probably more Trump supporters like would come from down here than, let's say, up in the Cleveland area.
Okay.
To answer your question, I guess I would say yes.
Hey Tom. Did you hear that hackers leaked Donald Trump's social security number and cell phone number online?
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Has anyone heard about this?
Been done already. I mean, the reason why these hackers say that they did it was to prevent a fascist Islamophobic uprising.
And to prevent the Third Reich, they said as well.
Oh,
Fourth Reich.
God.
We have a better.
Have you guys seen the footage from that one rally of the anti-Trump protesters?
Oh, the
Oh yeah, in Chicago.
Actually, I don't think it was in Chicago, but it was footage of like these a couple of like really fervent anti-Trump protesters, and they kind of became like overnight memes. There's like this one guy, they're calling him like Cuck Carl, and then there's this other guy, they're calling him like AIDS Skrillex. They're just like, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just go look it up because it's hilarious.
The only reason why these people are rebelling against Trump is because they have to make up for the small size of their dicks.
That's one theory.
And everybody catch that story of where like one of Trump's like somebody in in Trump's like campaign, one of his campaign managers or something, like grabbed a reporter and
Oh
threw.
yeah, I heard about
Uh,
that.
Oh,
I don't think Trump is going to. Wait.
Trump's son Eric recently received a death threat via letter with white powder saying that
I,
Trump's kids will all be murdered brutally
I
if
heard.
Trump does not leave the campaign.
Yeah, I heard that.
Could you imagine if somebody sent a death threat like that to Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton? Like the
Oh
left.
God, look at the outrage.
Trees, social justice warriors will hack people all over Tumblr. It's just going to be a massive leftist autistic orgy fest.
Yeah, the
Oh
Butterfinger.
wait, they threatened our candidate.
Butterfinger Dr. Pepper crowd, they would go insane.
I don't like. Would you think Donald Trump will win the presidential election? Because I
Yes.
wish he could win, but I think Bernie Sanders will because if you look at the votes, 52% wants Bernie Sanders become president, while
That's
40.
bullshit.
Okay, but
Well,
you
No,
know,
Lewis,
most of those people
all
are-
these voting all
Most
these
people
voting
are gonna be at
statistics are
home.
bullshit.
This is racist.
Most of
No,
those people-
Lewis.
Most of those people are going to be at home smoking weed when it comes time to vote. So they're not gonna actually go to vote for Bernie Sanders.
If you look at the if you look at this week's caucus for like both parties and everything, when it came to the Democrats, like Hillary like beat Bernie like 20-1.
Wait. Do you mean?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, yeah, the Butterfinger Dr. Pepper crowd, like, their man lost to Hillary like 20-1.
Oh, because Hillary has a pair of tits and a pussy. That's why.
Yeah,
That is true.
even though she's
Absolute nonsense, dude.
almost 70.
Freaking nasty. It's probably like some old freaking like.
But what pisses me off is that Hillary Clinton supporters will come out and say, "Oh, Donald Trump's a misogynistic," and all the misogynistic things Donald Trump quote said. Motherfucker, do you not know who she's married to?
Like, only Rosie O'Donnell and some bitch-ass news reporter, and that's about it. You know, this is what pisses me off about these social justice advocates. They're like, oh, if you insult one black man, that means you insulted them all. Or, oh, you insulted one woman, that means you've insulted them all.
Yeah,
Like,
but,
what the fuck?
but that's the thing. Like a lot of Hillary Clinton supporters like to bring up the misogynistic things Donald Trump says. Motherfuckers, do you not know who Hillary Clinton is married to?
Also,
Yeah,
Hillary Clinton...
There's so many allegations to
Like, women
like,
all
rape
over the
people.
fucking map.
Also, hold on, Tom. Hillary Clinton also is an admirer of the founder of Planned Parenthood, and that founder said, forgot her name, but she said that
Margaret Sanger.
black people, all black people are parasites and they deserve to be exterminated. That's what she said, and
Oh,
Hillary
yeah.
Clinton admires her.
I think
I guess
Here's the
I
thing,
guess-
though. Like, if we were to
I
go
guess
on,
Hillary Clinton. I'm sorry.
if
I guess Hillary Clinton is a racist now.
If we were to go on an anti-Hillary Clinton rant, I'm sure that we would be here for hours and hours because I have a ton of material about that. But
You should make a
the
video.
thing is, prior to Trump's entry into the election, Hillary Clinton was branding herself as being like the hero of women. I'm going to be the first female president. He's so progressive.
Look, we had the first black president.
started
Look how
running
bad
her
the
mouth.
policies were.
I'm called out your husband on all his sexual scandals.
I don't care about your sex or your race. If I think that you're qualified, I'm gonna support you. Like, because up until
Just shut her up. Like since then, she has not talked to.
I mean, look.
Wait,
Even if you, fuck you, Lewis. Okay, look, you could make this song, but if you're a good politician, then I would vote for you. Okay, enough.
Okay,
That's
degenerate.
enough, yeah, because we
Fucking
don't want
degenerate.
copyright infringement in this video.
Oy vey.
Alright, yeah. I think there's something wrong with my computer.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Alright, I'm gonna leave the call.
Are you
Yeah,
gonna come
well,
back?
I'm about to end this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Alright, yeah. Have a good night,
Yeah,
guys.
everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna reiterate what I said earlier. The next shitposting stream is probably going to be either this upcoming Thursday or the Thursday after that, which will be
So
the
much for
30th.
Friday night shit posting.
Well, it's gonna be a different theme. Like I'm gonna change it up a bit, and there's gonna be a special guest.
Shit posting.
So,
Let's just call
Well,
it.
Vlad, I do have a suggestion. How about instead of Friday night shit posting, how about you have just shit posting and you air them whenever the fuck you want, so you don't have to constantly have to worry about which Friday is the best time to do it.
well, I mean, like, shit posting is always going to be on Friday night, just because that's what Friday night is for. But
With this exception.
this Thursday night posting it might be an effort posting. But let's be honest here.
I understand. You're gonna be busy, Tom. Nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
Not to mention,
Is your little brother gonna be your guest?
Sorry, Luce?
Is your little brother gonna be your guest?
No, it's not going to be my brother. It's going to be a very famous person that I'm sure you're all familiar with.
I hope it's
what's his name?
I'm not going to give it away, but
A famous YouTuber?
Is it Kevin Logan?
it's not a YouTuber. No, it's somebody very very notable.
A
But
Loganopoulos.
you're going to figure it out once the post the
Is he
stream starts.
Is he
Oh, guys, hey, guys, stop! Testing. He said it's gonna be a surprise. Damn.
Fine.
Guys, chill.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, just let it be a surprise. No, fuck you. Cry him a goddamn river if you can't handle it not being a surprise.
One last question, like how you get asked
How do you get asked?
Sorry. Luis, repeat that.
able to invite a famous person to the show? How you know the person?
I'm not going to give it away. Just you'll find out next week.
Yeah.
I just hope I can.
I'm gonna go to.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Good times. Have a good
Good
night.
times.
Fair
See
time.
you guys later.